Hello and welcome to another video by myself, Chris from Sorare On A Budget. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a little look at the game week that's just passed and talk about some future plans I've got for both gallery and also the future of the YouTube channel. Obviously I've been on holiday for the last week in Spain. If you follow me on Twitter, you definitely know that. I've posted quite a bit about it. Fantastic week, and whilst we were away and whilst we were relaxing, I did have a little bit of time to do some ins and outs in the gallery, which I posted a little bit about whilst I was in the airport. And that's led to a pretty successful game week 246. And also, whilst I was away, we decided to do a live stream for the launch of the J League this season, which was actually really good fun. A little bit of a J League Soccer Saturday, I like to call it. And it's something I'm looking at doing going forward. So I'll discuss all that as we go. But the pictures at the side here just now, I've kind of got my three lineups from the weekend, and I've put them in order of, the top one being the one that's won the card. Sitting on 155th place at the moment. I can only drop down 3 places, so the lowest I could go is obviously at 158th, which I'm delighted with, to be perfectly honest. Christian Ramirez had not a great game, absolutely zero service at Aberdeen. But the two SV Riyadh midfielders, Stefan Nutz and Ante Bajic, had combined for 3 decisives in the first half, which was just phenomenal. Radlinger lost his clean sheet in the 90th minute and then conceded again in the 92nd, and then pulled off a double save in the 93rd, which gave me palpitations. But it held, and pretty happy with that. Could have been better, could have been a tier 2, but unfortunately it's tier 3. I say unfortunately, I can't grumble. It's all went to plan in terms of that. That's what the goal was, supposed to start winning some cards with these lineups. All-Star, I am literally half a point away from 250, which is pretty disappointing. I only had one solid score out of that, and that was Jonas Svensson, and the rest were below average, which was really disappointing. But again, it is what it is. But I'll take the 20 quid and I'll move on. And the Asia team, constant dog stack, 4 starters, 1 substitute. It was looking pretty decent until Schmitzu got a goal in, I think it was about the 80th minute, and that set back the scores. I think I dropped a better part of about 55 points. It would have been just about enough for a card, but hey ho. Again, we'll see what happens at the weekend. They're at home, so we'll take it from there. So that was kind of a quick review of the game week 246. I'm going to take a little look at the gallery. If you are new to the channel, I should have said this before I went into my big spiel, but if you're new to the channel, please drop a subscribe, press the subscribe button on there, and like on the video, that'd be great. If you're new to Sorare altogether, if you go to the link in the description, sorareonabudget.com, that'll take you to the Sorare website. You can sign up and you'll get your 10 free common cards, which you can use in the casual league. And from there, if you then buy 5 from the new card auctions, you get your free card as well. So worth having a wee look at there. So what I'm going to bring up now is I'm just going to flick over to, if I can get it to actually open, there we go. I was having a wee nosy at the prize pool, to be honest. It's going to be kind of top 15, top 20% worth of cards. So I've had a wee look through just to see kind of what's in the area. There's some really good cards. There's some that, if you get, you'll be mildly disappointed, but there's others there you would get. There's a couple of cards that I've actually looked at buying that are in there. So I'm going to be happy whatever I get. And I'm going to do a video for that tomorrow night, which will be Tuesday the 22nd. Tuesday the 22nd of February happens to also be the 1-year anniversary on the channel. Not on the channel, sorry, on Sorare, from when I actually signed up, when I finally gave in to Russell Scotland Sorare, nipping my head. And it's not the anniversary of when I started purchasing, but it is the anniversary of signing up. So I'm going to do a bit of a giveaway. There'll be something on Twitter tomorrow morning. It's only going to last for the day, because your birthday only lasts one day. So I'm going to go with that. So yeah, it's been quite quite exciting with the gallery. I did a little bit of, reflection and wanting to change things after the midweek. I got pretty disappointed with another low score from David Bates. I let him go, and lo and behold, he had a good game at the weekend. So swings and roundabouts, eh? So, but it did mean I have picked up a few cards. Karaoke started for Constable as the striker this week, so I picked him up pretty quickly when I seen he was in the lineup, and I'm hopeful that he might actually be the one that I play going forward. I'm worried about rotation, but we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Thorsten Marr, good scoring defender, had a good score again at the weekend there. So pushing on, I picked up a couple of Russian lads off the transfer market. I did sell now Dorican Tokus. I sold him for 0.17, 0.18. It turned out to be Charleroi backup goalkeeper at the bottom. Had a green tick beside him, and I asked who it was, and that's who it turned out to be. But because I sold him, I was able to bring in Ante Bajic, the two Russians, still have some money left over. So I did sell a midfielder as well. I'm trying to remember who it was off the top of my head. It's gone, but sold a midfielder and was able to bring in some extra players there as well. David Bates swapped for Maxim Osipenko. I picked up one of the backup goalkeepers from Consadole. He's not the backup goalkeeper, and that's Nakano, but I can't afford Nakano. But it's something I discussed it on the live stream at the weekend. It's something I'm kind of like, can I justify tying up 400 or 500 quid in a backup goalkeeper? And I feel like no, but I also feel like long term he probably will be the number one, and an under 23 number one suddenly becomes quite valuable. So it's quite an investment, but I'm going to try and see what I can figure out with that one. And then I've got some other players. I haven't really done anything else beyond that. These are players that have been at the gallery for a little bit of time, but it was a wee bit of remodeling. I was quite happy with it, to be perfectly honest. So moving forward, that's what I'm sitting with at the minute. The lineups will be fairly similar, but I do have a few of the Russian lads there. Striker-wise, I'm going to be looking at... I have a target. I have a friend who has one of the cards. I'm trying to persuade him that's a good idea to trade with me. He's wanting ETH. I don't have it. I've got 0.03, but I just feel like my strikers just aren't performing. So I feel like I need somebody else in. So I have a target, and I'm going to see what I could do to sweet talk and see what I could do. But yeah, so that's kind of where the gallery's been at, and the game week. As I say, a few fixtures ongoing. I will do a video for opening the pack tomorrow. I don't have a lineup for midweek. All I'll have is a casual team. So I'm not too worried. What I was thinking about doing at the weekend, just before the game week, is maybe do a live stream where I'm picking the lineups, have a bit of chat, reasons as to why I'm doing them, see what people are thinking with their own lineups, and just a wee bit of interaction. So I might do that on Thursday night. Excuse me. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking in terms of the gallery. So I'm just going to open back up into PowerPoint just because it's a little bit easier for talking, less distracting. So in terms of plans for the channel, I posted up last night that I spent about an hour of the flight making some notes and deciding, a few things I wanted to do, things I'll have to learn, and things that I want to do for the channel. So I wrote down some ideas of things I'm going to be looking at weekly. Some things are going to be ad hoc, some things will be monthly, and and look at that. So one of the things I just mentioned, one of the weekly ideas that I had was looking at, setting up my lineups on live stream. See how that goes. It might be something that's popular, it might not be. But sometimes, you do get questions as to why have you captained this person? Why are you going with two midfielders? Why are you going two defenders? Why are you going two forwards? Sometimes just matchups, but at least that way I can probably give a live answer to it as opposed to trying to answer it retrospectively. So that's one idea. I'm going to be doing, my own kind of ongoing reviews. I might do something in terms of that. Actually, I'll stick to the live streams first of all. I had a couple of ideas for live streams. I was thinking, for big events, if there's, a cup final or something on TV. You could maybe do a watch along kind of event. Large auctions, so if the, a unique Messi goes up, for example, or, something substantial like the Haaland card, I could do a live stream and a little watch along with it, and we can interact. The live chat was brilliant at the weekend. And that was the other thing, was the J League Soccer Saturdays, as I called it. I only had about half an hour to try and figure out how to put together a layout. So the layout was okay. I didn't really have much, negative feedback on that. But for me, there's a few things that I would like. I couldn't have the live chat on my screen, for example. I have got a second monitor that I'm going to use for that going forward. Because I probably won't be in Spain to do it. But I'm going to have a look at that and see how we could do. It might have to vary time-wise week to week, depending on the fixtures. This week, for example, most of the fixtures are kicking off at 6, so I'm probably going to run it from maybe, say, 5:45, and I'll have to end it probably about 7:45, because that's when I'll have to leave for work, unless the gaffer, gives me slightly later starts, but we'll see. I don't think that's going to happen. But Paul, I know you're watching. The people demand it. So the other ideas I had for weekly, now these will just be recorded ones. The long talked about podcast with myself and Scotland Sorare is something that we're going to kind of thrash out some details on. And it'll be no more than an hour. Initially, it'll be kind of like SoundCloud and also on YouTube as well. We'll kind of discuss like recent developments, with Sorare, some news, talk about, our own little reviews within ourselves, and then maybe have, every other week, probably not every week, but every other week, maybe have a guest. And rather than it being the big players that everybody always hears from, I think it's quite a good idea to, maybe have, a discussion with some of the budget players, some of the guys, that follow me, interact with me, chat with me quite a lot. Might be worth having a, conversation with these guys and getting, what somebody said to me in terms as a real world view of it, and just looking at that, occasionally, some of the bigger names might, drop in or what have you, but that's kind of, where I'm thinking. The interview ones are something that I might do as a standalone, just on the channel, see how they go. But Russell and myself are going to sit down on probably Wednesday and discuss, some of our ideas, do a bit of brainstorming and see what we think might go forward from there. So there's no release date for that yet or anything like that. We don't even have a working title for it. So we're just going to, we are working with ideas at the moment. So that'll be, we will have some news for that in the very near future. Other video ideas that I had were things like, monthly threshold videos. The threshold videos never go away because it's something everybody asks about. I'm going to revamp the how-to videos because I think, the ones I did were fairly rustic in nature, and I think it might be good to do them again and replace them. Basically, I'll take the old ones down and replace them with new ones. Things like maybe doing like a league focus, so I've done like the Austrian league and things like that, where I've kind of just focused, I did one for Turkey, things like that. So maybe more of those kind of league focused based ones, when new seasons are starting, or, maybe just the general gist of things, the kind of idea. Might do ones that are maybe SO5 specific. So maybe looking at just Asia, so we can combine like the K-League players, and these would probably be videos where you're looking at, not necessarily threshold players, maybe ones that you're actually going to try and compete to get into, tier 3 at least, and see how you could progress from there. So that was just a couple of ideas in terms of, things like that. I have other ideas in terms of things that I'm going to do. So things that I'm looking to learn, and I've put their layout for live streams. And that was one that, I would like to learn a wee bit more about that. Things like, just having a little, I want to have the scores live on the screen, so I could have a little section that might be taken from, say, SofaScore or LiveScore or wherever, and it just has the, the scores, like, you can see them live on the screen. If I'm doing, the Soccer Saturday type thing. I'm going to try and figure out how to do a green screen for YouTube. The same way that I've kind of got on here, it might be something I could filter over to there, but I don't know how. Video editing, I have got the Adobe package. I've got a subscription for it on the monthly basis that I use for Photoshop, but I know that there is a couple of things in there, but I I don't know quite what to do with them. So I'm going to, again, that's a little bit of me research. I don't know if it's even possible to, you know, if I'm on a live stream, can I patch somebody into it to suddenly have a second person on the stream with me? I don't know if that's possible. I'm going to have a look at that as well. I'm going to buy a few things. If you saw my setup for doing these videos right now, you would probably be astonished. It's if you take Quinny's setup and you took maybe, I don't know, maybe a millionth of 1% of the setup, that's probably still being generous. But I might actually post a picture and you will probably be very, very shocked as to it fully fits the Sorare on a budget mantra. Trust me. But there's things like, you know, that I'm going to buy for that. I want to figure out using my phone as a webcam as opposed to the camera on the laptop. It's not the greatest on the laptop. It's fine when it's in a small picture like this, but when I go full screen, it gets quite grainy. So there is ways to use my mobile phone. So I'm going to need to buy like a tripod for it, and one of the ones with the halo lights. I am using a halo light at the moment, but it's a mirrored one. It's actually Louise's for her makeup. But it fits perfectly if I can set it behind the laptop like this. It has brought the color slightly better into the videos. So I'm going to be looking at, you know, actually getting a tripod and getting something proper for that. And yeah, I have set some targets in terms of where I want to be in 3 months' time, in terms of with Twitter and with YouTube. And I've also set some targets for the year end. I'm going to keep those to myself, but they are targets that I'm going to be really working towards. So it was quite good because it has given me quite a bit of focus, and I can actually set probably a weekly timeline of when, you know, okay, on Monday night I'm going to do this, Tuesday night I'm going to do that, and so on. The only ones I'll really need to do prep for will be kind of like the threshold videos. The other ones, you know, if I'm doing a live one where I'm talking about my gallery, the great thing about that was the fact that people could interact and chat and say, you know, the J League one, for example, there was guys in there, you know, were watching the different games through various sources, such as even like putting a small bet on with one of the gambling sites and being able to watch the games on there. I'm not going to say which one it was because, frankly, you know, there are other means as well. But I couldn't get any of them because I was in Spain, so I didn't have the options. But this weekend I will be watching. I'll be certainly watching the Constable game. But there was guys watching different games, so when there was a goal, people were actually saying exactly what had happened. If there was a red card, exactly what happened. So it was little things like that that really kind of changed the stream on an ongoing basis. So it's things like that that I'm going to really try and stick to doing, because the interactivity, as opposed to me just talking to the computer just now, was so much more fun. And I think that the guys that were in the chat would probably agree. I was surprised how many there was, and I was surprised at the interaction. So I think moving forward, live streams are going to be a bigger part of the, you know, of the channel and of what I do. Now that I know how to do them. So on that note, I'm going to leave you. It's tea time. It's almost 8:30. I've not eaten yet. And I'm back to work again tomorrow morning. I was in today, got home at 2 o'clock last night and was in work for 10. And thanks to a late start, see, the boss isn't all bad. But thank you to everybody subscribed to the channel. Been fantastic support. Please keep subscribing. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. You might want to start putting the notifications on when I go live, because that's going to happen more frequently. And when I go live, you'll get a notification, and that way you can interact through the videos. If you have any ideas for any upcoming videos, in addition to the things I was talking about, or to expand on some of those things I was talking about, you know, drop me a note on Twitter, or either that or in my DMs. You know, if you want to not do it publicly, at Sorare On A Budget is my Twitter. And obviously, as I say, you can sign up at sorareonabudget.com from the Sorare site. You know the spiel. I'm not going to go into it again. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Tea time, as I say, and yeah, have a good one.